Welcome back to Up Front. We're talking today with Wisconsin Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, who is at our Hearst Bureau in Washington, D.C. Senator, we were talking about the Neil Gorsuch nomination for Supreme Court. You said you wanted to give him fair consideration, but you made your decision not to support him in just 2 days. And I'm wondering if someone who had been confirmed unanimously by the U.S. Senate when he was up for the appeals court job, someone who the former Obama acting Solicitor General Neil Katyal says is an extraordinary man and judge who would restore confidence in the rule of law, why someone like that wouldn't get more than a couple of days consideration?
I understand that a Supreme Court justice confirmation is a serious matter for the people of Wisconsin. They leave an impact that can affect people's daily lives, the lives of workers and retirees, of children, of women, and access to reproductive health. And so I take the confirmation process very seriously. Unlike Merrick Garland, who didn't even get a hearing or a vote, that is going to happen in this case, and I support that happening in this case. But again, when I am there to fight for Wisconsinites who are working hard to get ahead, what I want is a strong, independent justice. And I would say even Donald Trump's strongest supporters are very focused right now on making sure that there is a strong check and balance to his exertion of power.
Let me move to your re-election campaign in 2018, because even though it is just barely 2017, people are already talking about that. As you know, someone who's been mentioned as a possible challenger, Republican Sean Duffy, the congressman from northern Wisconsin, is not going to run, but there appear to be a number of Republicans interested because they look at what happened in Wisconsin in 2016 and because it's an off-year election, and they think that Senator Baldwin, you are vulnerable in this election. What do you say to the people who are going to be gunning for your job?
Well, I look back to why I was elected in 2012. I think the people of the state of Wisconsin sent me to Washington to stand up to powerful interests that frankly rig the system in their favor. But I can also tell you that right now, in the first 3 weeks of a new Trump administration, I am squarely focused every day on fighting for Wisconsinites' interests with regard to our solemn role in terms of confirming or not confirming Trump's nominees. And I feel that my role is to hold them to account to what they promised, and to fight every day for Wisconsin's hardworking people.
How confident are you in your re-election chances?
Right now I'm focused on fighting for Wisconsin's workers, Wisconsin's values and traditions. I do what I do because I care so deeply about helping people get ahead. For example, one of the first debates this year out of the gate was Donald Trump and the Republicans' efforts to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And I said, and I say to this moment, the voters of Wisconsin didn't send me here to the Senate to take away people's health care. They sent me here to fight for affordable, high-quality health care. And that's what I'm focused on doing. And I believe that that is what the voters and all of the people of Wisconsin want.
Senator Tammy Baldwin, the Democrat from Wisconsin, joining us from our Hearst Bureau in Washington. We appreciate your time. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Thanks, Mike.
And coming up next on Up Front, an interesting twist in Tuesday's primary for state school superintendent. Did one of the candidates offer to drop out in exchange for a $150,000 a year job? And remember, you can keep the conversation going throughout the week by following me at Mike Boucher on Twitter.